Is it recording? Hey, welcome back with open-minded conversation with our cousin friend. Today, we are two.
Just two.
Just
the two of us.
We are back from Easter holiday. We are relieved they're going to school. So we are coming back. After dropping them to school, come back and have 5 minutes to listen to the news. And what do we hear? They're going to bring new law about smacking. So today we're going to share our opinion about that. And before we start, Auntie Rido, are you going to introduce your name? Do we have to again? Because I'm sure they know our name.
I'm still the same old Auntie
we haven't changed, you know? Yeah. So, are you going to start? What do you think? Because the government is saying, because at the moment in Scotland, they ban smacking. If you smack the child, automatically you can go to prison for it. Or you can go fine. And they try to bring it in the UK.
Right.
And then, so what do you think?
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad to be back. Yeah. I saw the one you did last week by your solo. Did a good job, my sister. Well, yeah, self-love. You need to watch that.
Thank you.
She was all on her own and she was talking some facts, which I think at some point we will go through the facts because I got loads to say to add on to what you were saying. But you absolutely smashed it.
Thank you.
Now, in terms of the new law, I hadn't heard it, to be honest. Because
where were you?
My God, under my duvet, running away from my village.
I heard those ones. I can hear them. Where?
Yeah. I was there, but dealing with my village people. But anyway,
back to sender.
For another way.
Back to sender.
With the smacking thing, for me, I think that what we need as a country, to be honest, is that we are now a country where we are now afraid of our own children. You know, you go onto a bus and there's a mob of kids on there. You, the adult, is the first one to go the other way because you don't want confrontation with these children. They are so unruly and so... There's no that thing we had before where you just look at them if they're being naughty and then they stop. So now we're taking... us, the adults, are running away from the children. And already we are a nation that is controlled by these children because they're like, you can't do that to me. You can't do that. Even the police, they call the police on them. The police will get there. They're telling, the law says you can't touch me. The law says. So the policeman at the end of it hasn't even got any power. Now they're going to tell me that they're going to say, my child goes there and says, oh, I've been smacked by my mama. I am now going to go down for it. What I think we need is, instead of these kind of stupid laws, right? I think what they need to do is try and us parents and the government to work together to discipline our children. We are now becoming a nation where our children are just out of hand.
I agree. Yeah.
And if you are going to stop me from smacking my child to discipline them, then you are saying, as you were, keep ruling us and keep doing what you are doing. Most of them, I'm going to say most, but I know that probably statistically it's not even most. But I know that if I am out and there is a group of young ones, I am avoiding there. They will stand outside the shop. I mean, I'll give an example where I live. I have to show ID if I want to buy eggs and flour. Eggs and flour. It used to be alcohol and cigarettes. No, eggs and flour. And I was like, what do you mean you want to see my ID? Because the children, when they're bored, they're buying the eggs and the flour, throwing it on the cars, and then they throw the flour after the eggs, and now the driver can't see. This is our children. The ones who, if I was to slap you, you would stop this because next time I see you doing it again, I will slap you. But now if I slap you, I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to get done for it. The problem we have is that the government doesn't seem to understand that when we are trying to discipline our children, a child has got to know that mommy's voice is now high. Mommy is now not joking. If mommy then says, I'm counting up to 3, I'm not just counting up to 3, I will count up to 3, sometimes even 2, and I don't stop. And I've got 2 boys. You know how big those boys are. If I call them with their full name, including the surname, they will stop in their tracks because they now know that, oh no, she's now not joking anymore. This is what we're trying to introduce. This is what we should be introducing, is that children should know when they've crossed the line. But if we are constantly going to say, we are arresting any adult that tells you to stop, we are arresting any adult that slaps you, there is abuse and there is discipline.
And there even abuse, you know? there is abuse and abuse and abuse.
And discipline.
Right.
I discipline my children because I want them to be better people.
For the society.
Yeah.
Not just for
Not just for me.
Yeah.
I'm making them better so that when they're out in the community, they're not going to be acting the way I let them act at home. Because if I don't manage them at home, when they're outside, the police, any other adult outside will not be able to manage them.
Even the government themselves.
But if you're going to take all the laws away from me, then what good are we doing for the children? Which makes me ask the question, so these laws that the government are putting in place, who are they to benefit?
That one.
Who benefits out of this law?
It's a tricky one. That one, to be fair, that's a good question. I didn't know about that. Them, because nobody's benefit, to be fair, because the children are not benefit, they get to use this.
Yeah.
The parents are not benefit because they're losing their children.
Yeah.
The government is not benefit because the taxpayers' money are going there instead of them to use the money to do something for the country. So, to your answer, honestly, I never thought of it that way. That's a very good point. Wow, that's a tough one.
I know, right? Who is benefiting from this?
Yeah, no one.
But then I think, if you think about it, well, I'm now going to go like, I'm like that. I think that if the government is to do this, to introduce this law, it means that there's a rich company somewhere that is invested in building children's homes. So if the law is to come up with all these, parents don't smack your children, because there's no child who has never been, stop it. There's no child anywhere, because that's how the way they know the difference between right and wrong, yes and no, is that if they're not listening to no, in the end you're like, no. Like that. This is never going to kill anybody. Nobody. You understand? Yeah. But the child now knows.
And then it's not working. And it's not working. And then you call smack is abuse.
You see?
However, the government says smack is abuse. And my thing is, I'm struggling with it. If smack is abuse, right? You tell me not to smack my child. Yes, I know you don't need to smack a child to correct them.
Yeah.
Right? That one I know and I agree 100% because smacking does not solve the problem.
Yeah.
However, you said physical abuse is abuse. But do you know this country, the most dangerous disease in this country is emotional abuse? But is it because you don't see it, but therefore it's okay for parents to do it? Because, example, you said the government can take the law away from me. It's okay, I can raise my children by not smacking them, which is I will succeed. In terms of why? Okay, you know, and I say stop it, you're not stopping. I'm taking the phone, I pay for it. I'm taking my iPad, I pay for it. I'm taking my TV remote because I pay for it. And then what did I do? I send you on the stage to stay there for 2 hours. What do you call it? Is it emotional torture?
Emotional, isn't it? Imagine emotional abuse. You get to school, you're like, oh no, I don't play with my iPad.
Right.
Oh no, I'm not allowed on the computer.
Right.
I'm always sitting on the naughty step.
Right.
I mean, even if I don't know, as a social worker, I'll be thinking, oh my gosh, this is a bit too much.
Right.
But if I was doing it my way and I said 1, 2, 3, stop.
Then everything move on.
There's no
and then you stop.
Exactly.
I stop. You stop stressing me. You stop. I stop. So therefore, this is what I'm trying to understand. The government or even the social worker or the doctors in this country, what they don't understand is now they say they must hire people who have mental health and on benefit at the age of 21.
Really?
So you're gonna tell me age of 21 you have mental health. The rest of your life, what are you gonna have? So the rest of your life,
it's not all emotional from a very young age.
And then it gets
where you've been punished constantly. You are sitting on the naughty step. You've now grown up and you're thinking, "Oh my goodness, I was always excluded out of everything."
Right.
So they never liked me.
Right.
So that could lead to your
situation
where you're constantly like, especially now that you're an adult, you've joined the social, you've joined the world as it is, and you find yourself being excluded, and it's now taking you back to your traumatic childhood days.
Right.
So this could be one thing that's then triggering your mental health at this age.
So this is why this country, there's a high mental health issue. Yeah. This is why this country, and I said, look, most people in this country, especially the English people, most of them don't smack their children. But go and look at the record and check the children who are not smacked and see them. And the children who get smacked, how many of them are in prison? How many of them in mental health hospital? And this is the truth and the fact. Sometimes we have to be real to ourselves. And the government who's sitting there making those laws, none of them ever puts a child from their nunus to see how painful it is. They never do sleepless night to see how hard it is to raise a child because they have money. They have a nannies.
Yeah.
They don't go through the pain. So they can have the audacity to come and tell us not to smack our children or tell us what to do. Is it because of the 20 pounds they're giving us? Is that what they're telling us what to do with our own children?
Yeah, because you're getting, I mean, it's like after a 12-hour shift, you get home, a child is just not settling. And the thing with children is that there will always be children because that's what they are. They will push their boundaries to see how weak you are. And that's what children do. We've all done it. Even when we were teenagers, you know, you take that little risk to say, is mom here? Let me see if I can jump out the window today, even she's next door, just to see if she sleeps deeply or not.
They see you,
exactly. And then once you've been caught, you think, okay, you know, this is not it. But then the thing is, if you are not disciplined after you've done it the first time, what's going to happen? You continue doing it, isn't it? Before you know it, is now a regular.
And then you come
now,
to the control.
You see? And then now they're crying and saying, oh my goodness. But I always think that there's somebody, a big shot up there, who is benefiting from all this. It means that the children's homes we're now going to be building are now going to be more.
But then they're not benefiting.
They're making money from it because these will all be government funded homes.
Yes.
So they're making money from it.
However,
our children are being statistics.
Yes, our children will be that. However, they're benefiting today. Tomorrow, they're going to be struggling. Before we say, oh, if my child is naughty, I'll send them to back home. No, let's not send them to back home. Let them rotting in this country for the government to take control. No, it's true though. Because if you say I can't correct my child, and another thing I am struggling to understand it, with the government, they say we can't smack our children to correct them. But the moment they turn 18, and then they offend the law, they are quickly to put them in prison.
But that's what I'm saying.
But it's okay. It's okay for you to punish a child you do not birth. But I birth
for you to have control over a child that I carried for 9 months.
Right. How is this fair? What kind of a world are we living?
I always think that if we've got social services should be allowed to have the intelligence to go into a home and assess the situation. You can tell sometimes, most of the time, I think, you can tell that this child is being physically or mentally abused. If a child is being slapped every now and again, that's not to kill, that's to discipline a child. So surely there should be a difference here between physical and mental abuse and disciplining. Discipline is never where I'm going to now leave the child with a broken hand. That's no longer discipline. And this doesn't even have to be explained to any adult. Because as a mother, if I am disciplining you to the point where your back is now bleeding, or your arm is now swollen, or you're covered in cigarette burns, or you're malnutrition because I'm starving you, that's no longer discipline. That's now torture and abuse. Surely as adults, we don't need to have this explained to us. But my worry now is, if my child, especially when they're teenagers, when they're trying to find out who they are, and then they call and they say, my mom slapped me. It's now up to me to prove that I didn't slap them. It's the same with the rape, isn't it? It's always the one who's being accused that now has to go out of their way to prove that they didn't do it. Why, as a parent, am I being put in this position? Surely, if I am going to be a parent, you are all thinking that I'm responsible enough, I love my children enough to want to discipline them to make them better people for society.
Period.
Yeah. Why would I want to give birth to a child who I'm going to become a menace in society and end up in prison? Who wants that?
Especially in this country.
My God. With the amount of how busy.
Look, I said to my children, I have 4 children. I said, look, if I didn't have you people, do you know how rich I would be?
And how much time you'd have? You wouldn't even be. You'd go on a holiday every other week.
Honestly, they think they're doing me a favor. Children in this country think they're doing me. And now I said to them, listen, you think, look, if you're going to go to social service or go foster home, whatever, you know what you're doing? You are saving my money. You are saving me. You are doing me a favor.
When I was supposed to do that weekly shop.
That's one less mouth to feed. And I meant it and I said it out loud to them. I'm not scared of it because at the end of the day, I know where my life is taking me. I know I am trying to help you so you can find yourself, so you can know where your life will take you, to avoid the prison, to avoid being homeless. And you think you did me a favor, my child. You're on your own. I'm going to serve myself for you.
But that's the thing with children, though. That's why I always think that a parent can never be a child's best friend. Because once you have done that, there is this point where you're supposed to be strict. It's very difficult to be strict with your best friend, is it? You know, you can't discipline your best friend.
Yeah.
You can only say what you're thinking, but you can't discipline them. So if your child is now your best friend, how are you ever going to control them to say, this is wrong?
Yeah.
Half the time a child will say to you, why are you saying that this is wrong for me to have a boyfriend at 10, right?
Yeah.
But I'm speaking on the basis of that I am an adult. I've been through this period. Parties and boyfriends will always be there.
Anytime.
But the moment you are in year 6, it's only a temporary thing. Enjoy that, forget everything else. Because the partying and the boyfriend and the girlfriends will always be there. Because I'm talking from experience. So if the child is to come back and say, how can you tell me that? How do you know? All I can say is because of experience. And it's only when they get to my age they'll be thinking, oh yeah, you know what, mom was right. Yeah. But if I'm not even given, exactly. So if you are not giving me the chance to stop my child from taking the wrong path, because I'm saying if you take this path, you're going to end up doing this bad thing because this is the way I did it. Yeah. So if you're not, if as a government you're not letting me as a parent help my child not take the wrong path, then you're only helping me create disaster for the tomorrow.
Like example,
so what good is that?
Like example, there was this girl, beautiful, stunning. Oh my God. You know, she's a goddess. And, you know, it was on the news. Originally, she was born in London. The parents are from Africa somewhere. She was born in London, 14, you know, 40. She thinks she's a teenager. She's doing her naughty things. Her mama talking, which is, you know. So, report social service in and out, running away from the house. Eventually, they got her out from the family home, brought her to Brighton, from London to Brighton. She went to school, you know, age of 14, 15. I think she got pregnant when she was 15. Gave birth 16. Right? 16. Yeah. So the child was 18. So listen to this. On her 18th birthday, she left her 18-month-old baby in the house by herself.
With the baby?
The baby. For 6 days.
Oh?
Yeah.
Not even over, like
no. 6 days. And guess what happened? The baby died, unfortunately. Beautiful girl, honestly. Beautiful.
Did the mother have mental issues? Mental health?
Wait, let's not go to mental issues. This is the thing the government is doing, is affecting this situation. It's got nothing to do because the government did not let the mother raise this child. This child tend to be like that. And guess what? My point I'm trying to make is now the girl is in prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's in prison by neglecting a child to die. But my point and what I'm trying to say is, if the government would have supported the parents to let the parents stay home and raise the child, she wouldn't have a child 15, 16, and then she went to be in prison. Or
she would have never had the child, and she would have never left the child on her own. The grandmother and the grandfather would have been there.
She wouldn't even have the baby to begin with, because if you're at my house, why are you? If I'm telling you the right thing, you don't need a boyfriend 16.
True.
So it wouldn't happen. So the point I'm trying to make, this is what the government is doing. We are raising the children. Now you say no, your way is bad way, but then it's okay for you to take them to prison.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I might not smack my child, my own police officer in my house, and my children don't know that I told them. I said the way you go outside and make create a crime, and the police will punish you, the government will punish you the same way you crime here, I'll punish you. I might not smack you, but everything in life have consequences, whether good or bad.
That's true.
And my consequences, they are very harsh. They are very, very harsh, and there ain't no way.
Taking the iPad and the phone, to me, I don't even think are harsh things.
But then that's the only thing that the government is trying
to give us.
To give us. Like my little one, I got a 2.5-year-old daughter, right? This child can push. Yeah? Oh my God. And then my thing is, I have with her is, when she's doing, I said, stop it. No. I said, stop it. No. I said, do you want to smack? She said, no. Then what happened? She stopped. Because I didn't smack her, so she will stop, innit?
But it's never like she has been smacked so hard that it's now making her like, no. She just doesn't want to be smacked. She doesn't want to be because she knows she can get it.
Right? So when the day she wants, do you stop? No. Do you want to smack? No, but she carry on and then I go like that. And guess what? For the whole hour, that child is fine. I have peace, she has peace. Happy days. I do not harm her.
Yeah. But she knows that there is a limit.
That's it.
If she crosses that line,
The line-
she's gonna get this. But now, if you give them the option to say, "I'm gonna smack you," and then they're going, "That's illegal."
Yeah.
Then what else have I got now? What else have I got to come back with?
No.
I can't even say to them, "I'm checking you out of the house," because that is definitely illegal.
No.
So what have I got?
I'm not checking them out. If the government said, no, I am moving.
You are moving out.
Yes, because it's illegal to check them out, isn't it? You stay, I'm out. No, it's legal to check them out, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, there's no legal.
So leave them, stay.
I'm going. And then the government can't tell me not to go. If they tell me not to go, you know what's going to happen? I'll just take my clothes off and start
running on the street.
And then
they'll take you and put you away.
In the hospital. Yeah. And then what? They feed free. Rent pay for me free. That's what they want, isn't it? No, listen, parents, tighten your belt tighter. Yeah. Do not let this government deceive you. Most of parents are scared the moment they hear social workers, they are panic. These social workers cannot do nothing to you, as much as you're scared of them, they're scared of you.
Because at the end of the day, what the social workers are there to do is to see what is going on. If you are not harming your child, there's nothing that they're going to find. It's even like the police. If a policeman stops you and you are not guilty, and you're eloquent enough to explain that you're not guilty without having to say shouting and swearing and then abusing them, you find that if you can do that, this is the thing, you need to also know the law.
And know your boundaries
as well. Know your boundaries as well. If you're talking to a policeman, you need to know that you need to humble yourself, but you put your point across. That's it. If you see a policeman, you start running, the first thing they're thinking is because you're guilty. So now they've got enough ammunition to say, because we think you're guilty, we are now going to attack you first. No, you see them, you stop, you say, "What's up? What's wrong? What have I done, sir?" If you have to do, sir, do, sir. What have I done?
Nothing.
Explain yourself, and if they say, "I'm arresting you," you put your hands up. Because they're never going to take you into a bush and kill you. They're going to take you into a cell where you're then feed you. So
now the government said we shouldn't smack our children. What did you expecting from us as parents to do with these children? What did they want us to do? Now we should just give
us the other options then of how to discipline our children. I know for a fact that my children sitting in the naughty step ain't gonna help. I know that taking the iPad away for an hour or two, that's not gonna help nothing. Taking the phone for an hour or two, it's not going to help anything. And the truth of the matter is, even if you take their phone, the thing is, they've got the phone not because I want them to be in touch with social media. No, they've got a phone purely because when I am doing a school run, I need to contact you to say, "How are you?" Or if you are going to school, I want you to text me back and say, "Mom, I've arrived at school." That's why you have a mobile. So for me, confiscating that, it's not helping my parenting, is it?
And it's even now because they do their work on phone.
I know.
So therefore, how can I take it? Because you take the phone, Mom, and then you say, "Go and do your work." You say, "But Mom,
I need my phone." You're like, or even if they want to check the train times, people are now checking that on the phone. So confiscating the phone the iPad was okay if they were babies or young, because that's where they would be watching TV. But now they would just still put YouTube on the television. And so I don't know what the government is doing by making these kind of decisions, where we are supposed to be having laws that are, like
it's helping
we're supposed to be working together with the government to come up with these laws. Or we're supposed to be making tighter laws for pedophiles, things like that.
For the children. For the children, because why
prison is now like popping into some kind of a takeaway.
You know what somebody told me? There was this guy. He was going, because I remember the first time I met him, he was selling stuff. So I bought it. I didn't know, because that's how naive I could be. So I didn't know he was stealing them and selling them. I just thought his property is getting rid of and stuff. So I bought them. 1 day come, 2 days come. And somebody told me, "Do you know he's stealing that? You're helping him to be stealing." I said, "I'm not helping nobody to steal." He said, "No." So he came the third time. And I said to him, "You know what? I can help you to better yourself instead of doing this thing." Do you know what the guy said to me? He said, "Sister, I'm so thankful and I'm grateful, but I'm not ready to change." And I said,
easy money.
No, it's not even the money. He said, "Because I want to go down." Yes. He said
he wants to go back.
Yeah, he said listen to this. He said, "When I'm in, I live better because outside I'm homeless. It's cold. I don't get warm food. I don't get warm water. But when I'm in there, I swear down.
A roof,
food, free rent. Some people call it holiday.
Yeah. But you see, this is the thing, is that this is what I'm saying, is that instead of coming up with laws that are saying, you're not allowed to smack the children, they should instead of coming up with these kind of laws, we should be making it harder in prison. Prison shouldn't be a holiday, because even if you're to threaten a child to say, stop what you're doing, otherwise you're going to be arrested, they would all smile and go, and what? Go to prison? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's a good 6 months, where I'm
6 months, even 5 years. Yeah. 5 years, they come with a degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they go to college. Do you not know that? No, they don't know that. People go in prison, either they become as a chef, they become as a builders, they be anything of your choice. They do that in prison. Oh. I promise you. And that's not a joke.
So you'll have accommodation, education, all under one roof.
Right.
And no bills.
And then by the time they come out, they even give them money.
And no bills.
Nothing.
So no rent, no council tax. Yeah. I could be saving a lot,
I would want to go down.
I could be saving quite a lot.
Some of us will go down if they stop the smack.
The whole paycheck. Yeah. Because for me, honestly, my whole paycheck goes to rent, council tax, basics, gas and electricity. So imagine being in prison, right? All that is taken care of, and at the same time I'm doing my education.
But then, you see, and then somebody said, because it was a conversation we were having, so we were talking, and I said to him, when I'm in my 50, and somebody offered me £2 million, to do something and go to prison, I would take it and go down, And then he went to know, because he'd been in prison. He said, you know what? It's not why I wouldn't, because, and I said, why? And he went, because the freedom.
Okay, of being able to just go wherever you want to go. Right.
Even though they might get food, they might get things to do, but the freedom of it, because somebody tell you when to sleep, when to go out, how to go out.
But then the problem we are having now is that our children who have that freedom of, not being under a curfew or being under one roof forever in prison, they've got that freedom, but they don't know what to do with that freedom. So instead of us coming with strict laws of saying, you smack your child, you go to prison, why don't we try and get more things for these children that have so much freedom to keep them occupied? Why don't we do that? Why don't we have youth centers that are running more? They're closing most of the youth centers, but now they're coming up with a law to say, you smack your child. These children, the truth of the matter is, these children are bored. These children are feeling neglected by the adults, because half of the population is actually at work most of the time, just to work to pay the bills. So these children are feeling all neglected. And if we were to do, we used to do like scouts clubs and where they do
after school club, swimming used to be free for children.
Everything now you have to pay.
Now you pay for swimming. You know what? Because I got a letter say, because my year three son is starting swimming, and then I got a letter, you go pay £29. And don't get me wrong, the £29 is nothing. It's not about the money, but I'm thinking, what happened? It used to be free.
But now we have to pay for it.
Free education. It's not free education. Every week they say bring £1. Every week they say £2 for this. Every week. I don't mind that. I don't mind bringing it back.
It's not everybody who can afford that £29.
Well, for me, I'm speaking for myself. And then it's not even about the £29.
Why isn't it free?
Right? Because now you say we shouldn't be smacking these children. You are not making life easy for us. I have to work and get the £29 to come and pay. And then when I'm working and I come, my child is stressing me, and you don't want me to give them back smack and say, shut up and let me do my job.
Yeah.
Then it's abuse.
Yeah.
So I think it's so difficult. Please make it easier for us. Tell us, what do you want us to do? We are building you. We are asking you. If you are watching, Richie Suna, I'm sure you know better. If you are watching this, and I'm sure some of your people will watch it, tell us what do you want us to do. Unless you want to provide nannies for us, then we won't be able to smack them, because the stress.
Then the nanny will be looking after them and keeping them on track.
Right.
Unless if the nanny is also not allowed to discipline them.
And now we can't smack children because, do you know, let me tell you this here, let me take a deep breath. Do you know how many children now they're diagnosed about ADHD?
Oh my goodness.
Do you know how many?
I think it's almost anyone who you think is hyper, or someone, if a child just does not seem
To be sitting and quiet.
yeah, they've got something. I can't keep up with what it is.
So
I mean that this I think is also another thing where
because
we
the
are
government-
too quick to label things, put children into certain sections to say you've got this, you've got that. You've labeled them way too early. There are some diseases that really need to be diagnosed early. But the amount of people with all these extra things that are all, and apparently it's actually a disability.
ADHD.
Is it? To be honest,
Listen.
I know that there's some of those things are now a disability,
You see?
which means now you get disability allowance.
So for me, you can take your allowance, and I'd rather have my child correct 100%.
Yeah.
No, I know sometimes Africans, we don't want to be diagnosed our children because, no, don't get me wrong, there's a child, even Georgia will see that child and know that this child have a problem. That nobody, even me, that who's not a doctor, I can diagnose them without even assessing them. But there's some children I see them.
You just see that this is
and
just
I just say, you know what, you just need this.
Exactly. You just need a good slap,
and then you're okay.
I know.
And then therefore they're diagnosing them.
But yeah, and then automatically, and you know what, the worst thing about it is that my daughter, right? She goes to school. She's got one of these children who has got this condition. So she comes, she's going, oh, she said something really mean. And I said, so what did you say back? Well, I couldn't, mommy, because she doesn't know. It's not her fault.
Whose fault is that? My fault.
No, she doesn't know because she suffers from this.
What?
So now I can't then say because she's not aware of it. And I said to her, you know what? Sometimes what she says hurts you, but we are all making excuses for her because she's been diagnosed of this. So the one who's now suffering is my child, who's now having to understand this child who's in the same class as her. So my child now has to accept being insulted, being kicked, because this child suffers from this. And I think this is so unfair. It's not, it's so unfair for, I don't want to use the word normal because it's not so normal, but it's so unfair for my ordinary child to be the one who's now
it's normal because they know that my child is not normal.
Yeah, they're the one now who's having to understand all these children. So it's like it takes you back even to the thing about where in a classroom a child was asked, so what? I think it was something to do with they were talking about a country that didn't accept gay people. They asked this child, "What do you think?" She said what she thinks. It became. The mother was called and said, look, we're not having this because your child should have answered with the
emotions.
And thinking that there are other people in the audience who might be gay, so then they'll be offended. And then I'm thinking, so now I cannot have an honest opinion because I'm worried that maybe there is this kind of person in there. There's someone who suffers with ADHD. So why is it that I'm the one who now has to watch what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's why you don't watch.
If you don't, you're the one who's now getting punished.
I don't care. The problem now is, look, and I said to everybody, I got 4 children. One of my boys, this boy have energy, and I always say to people, if I'm not the strongest parent, and if I'm, let's say, if I'm, I'm doing the softened parent, let's put it that way. If I'm doing the gentle parent, they will easily diagnose that child because constantly he's having energy, running around. But me, as a mother, I know there's nothing wrong with him.
No.
Or he have energy, let him go outside and burn it out. And if he can't sit well, you sit down, or else I count to 3.
And you stop.
And that's the way it goes. But because if I'm doing gentle parent, oh, you okay? Oh.
Now you have to say, oh,
and then we go to see the doctor. For what? There's enough for you. Don't need medication. I was a hyper child. I was a girl. I was like a boy. I never took any medication.
But then the thing is, if you had a child who's always quiet, sat in a corner, surely if people came and they were looking, they'll be thinking, what's wrong with this child?
But that's what they want, isn't it?
But then you come and then you got this active child. They come, oh no, this one is too active. Where do you then now class to say, oh yeah, okay, this one is in the middle. This one is a normal child. Because if they're too quiet, there's something wrong. Either they're being abused or something is happening to them emotionally and mentally. And then if they're too hyper, oh no, this is no good. This child is too energetic. They have now been labeled as having this. Can someone explain what a normal child is?
Because, well, I don't know what normal child is, because the government now is telling us how to raise our children. The government is not telling us how to feed them. Because now they're telling us how to feed them. They're telling us how to clothe them. They're telling a child, like, we'll come back to that. We're talking about the different sex.
Yes, because your children now
can wear dress. How can you tell me? Listen.
Your boy child can go to school wearing a skirt.
Listen.
Or today be feeling to be called a cat.
No. Let's be real here, government. Yeah, you cannot tell my child. Yes, they go to school. They come. They say, "Mom, I can wear a dress if I want to." No, you can wear that dress there, but when you come here, you're wearing trousers, because we shouldn't get things confused here. I am not against who you want to be. Don't get me wrong. My child can be gay, lesbian, whatever.
But let's not start messing with their minds at a young age.
Come on.
They are already...
Yeah, next video. That will come next video, because, our producer is telling us, today we're talking about the snacking. Please, so let's video. Producer, we here, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, boss. Yeah.
I think that with the smacking thing, I always think that, you know what? Don't always go... Every parent knows their child more than anybody else who's outside. If you know your child is like this, deal with it in the house, nip it from the bud. Because once you let them rule the house, they're only going to take it outside. Once they take it outside, there's no one who's going to be giving your child that extra attention to try and find out, where is this coming from? Why? How can we change it? Because they've got too many children, especially if it's teachers. They've got too many children that they've got to deal with. So once you let your child rule your house with their naughtiness, they're going to take it to class. Once they take it to class, the teachers are overwhelmed already. They're only going to pass it to social services. Once they pass it on there, it just goes on and on. So as parents in the house, what you were learning in Africa, what you were learning in your country, get the good of how you were raised and do that to your children. Your children should not get away with not knowing where they're from. If you are from Africa, your child needs to know that they're African. If they're asking you, why are you telling me not to do this? You can actually say, because as your mother or your father, I have said it. You are living under my roof, we do it like that. Because you know that you are preparing your children for a tough world. A tough world. If you're going to be bringing up jelly babies, they're never going to make it. And they're never going to make it in society. Because society is going to trample them down fast. And you don't want your child to be a target. They are even bullied from primary school. So you make sure you tell your children the truth in the house, to say, my guy, the world out there is cold.
Very cruel.
Your children...
Even the government, they're telling us not to do what you're doing. You go out there, and then they're going to tell you that, oh, no, you don't have the job. You start crying. You start a mental issue.
I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, please, no.
No. Life is full of a lot of things you'll be rejected for. Even,
relationship.
Relationship will be rejected. So many things you're going to be rejected. But you have to be tough. You have to be strong. Even us as parents, how many times have we failed?
100 times.
But we wake up the next day, we, put on our big girl pants on and we move on. We need to teach that to our children from a young age, to say, if you are defeated today, it's not the end of the world. You get up, it will only make you stronger. That's what they say. Look, what doesn't kill you,
it makes you stronger.
There you go. You get up and you go.
And I know, like, there's this friend of mine. It's a client, by the way. And then the how many of them? I think there are 2 or 3. And they're all raised by the same mom, the same dad, no smacking, nothing in the household.
By the book,
whatever. And then grow up. Now they all grow up. They all have husband and children. And then one of them is holding a grudge to her mom. It's your fault I'm like this. Everything she does, it's always the parents' fault. It's your fault I did this. It's your, because even though they don't smack you, So I don't smack you, it's my fault.
Yeah,
I smack you, it's my fault. So
people just, you know what, adults, children, everybody, you need to be able to take accountability for your own actions. If you decide to go left and you crash, it's your responsibility. It's not because your mama raised you badly. No. If you decide to smack your whoever in class, that was your decision.
I didn't tell you to do that. It's not because
somebody raised you badly and told you that. No.
Somebody said,
we all have to take accountability for our actions.
Somebody said, oh, because I'm who I am, I'm so angry. This is an African person. I get angry easily because of the way they smack me. No, I said, listen, it's a lie. I got beaten.
I know.
I didn't get smacked.
I know.
I got beaten. But did I go around beating people?
We are the plum tree, right?
Did I go around beating people?
No.
Exactly. So it's a choice. It's a choice you make for yourself. It's not the choice that your mom or your dad smack you or beat you when you're young. You're gonna say because it's your fault.
Yeah,
no, get out of this room, my friend.
We had the plum tree at the back of our house. You know how plum trees, the stems are so long. My mom used to pick one, when she's about to become, when she's feeling macho man, Tyson Furious. Oh my God, she would pick one of those. She would hit you until it's this small. And not once did I ever say,
wow, my child become, let's say, a doctor. My child is doing well, married, children, sweet home. Yeah, my child is not perfect, but he's capable of taking responsibility. And then what happened to your useless? He can't marry, he doesn't have a wife, he can't keep a hold to relationship.
He's just breaking every table he goes to.
Exactly.
Doesn't take accountability for anything.
Right.
Always wanting to be carried around.
Right. So in this situation, which of the mother you want to be?
The tough one.
Because I definitely don't want my child to become useless. So I'm going to stop you before you break your life. You're not just breaking the glass. It's your life you're breaking. You think in that moment you love your child enough to tell them to stop. Now, most people know I'm hard. Like one of my friends the other day, because all the time I'm always hard on my children, like even my little one. Oh my God. She's so independent. She's only 2.5, but she's so independent because I don't have time to be doing
monitoring her all the time.
So they always think I'm this hard. So the other day, I didn't even realize it. So her finger got caught in the door. Oh my God, my heart nearly dropped out of my child. Oh my God. You know, I didn't see. So the following day, she said, oh my God, you know what? I now know that you're a mother, you know. I saw it.
I saw your heart breaking.
I know. I was like, look, I have it in me. I don't show you everything. Because
you don't want to show your weakness to the kids all the time because they take advantage of it.
Not even that. Because I can't just pour my heart out and my child fall down. No.
Sometimes you need them to toughen up.
You need to tough them up. But this one is out of my control. It's out of her control.
And you know it hurts. And you know that you know when you put your fingers, it's so painful.
Look, my heart near dropped. And she was making fun of me. So the other day she came and then Georgia was doing something. She said, please, I don't want to see your mom cry.
Be careful. Make sure you don't do anything that's going to break your mom cry.
Every mother loves their child.
Do you know what I struggled with when I came to this country? You know when you're on a bus and then you put the children in the buggies and then the parents go and sit at the back and the child is wailing in that. Do you know a child's cry is different? There's a cry like, meow, meow, you know, where she's just like, well, guys, I'm awake, just in case you don't know. There's that cry. And then there's that cry where a child is either hungry or something is wrong. You know what I mean? The mother will be sat there either on the phone. We're all not going. No, nothing. No. For me, my heart was breaking. Why does your child have to cry to that point? That was before I knew that apparently you have to leave them to cry for a certain point. I don't believe that. Never have believed that in my life. If my child, remember a child, only communication is by crying because they don't talk.
However, on their defense, I don't know them, whatever. But on the defense, you know your child. You change your child nappy, your child is fed, your child is tired, and then they cry. Sometimes they need to cry. I believe so, but then if the nappy is not changed, if they maybe check the buggy, and
maybe something, a spider has gone in. Maybe a spider. You're all sitting there going, look, I've given you milk, I've changed your nappy, there's no problem. What if a spider happened to have gone inside there?
The spider would kill her.
No, it wouldn't, but what if it's biting? Or even an ant, you know those big old ants? But sometimes, and then what will happen is all you have to do is go, it's okay. They're thinking, or maybe they're thinking, my gosh, this doesn't sound right. Where are we? And they're panicking. So maybe all they want is mommy to go, it's okay, sweetie, I'm here. and then they calm down.
No, but then how many times are you going to? This is what we say, sweetie, the growth of it, isn't it?
Not with a baby. Oh, a baby is too fragile. Do you know my heart breaks every time I sit in the bus and I'm thinking, can you not hear your damn baby? What I want to do is take the baby and go, it's okay. Your mama coming. Soon, I hope.
Oh my God. You know what? You know the thing is, parenting, you can't do wrong to be right. You can't do right to be wrong. So this is
you're doomed if you do, and you're doomed if you don't.
It. So you just have to, and I know parents who do soft parenting their children to become to the opposite. And I know parents who are harsh and their children have become the other way. And then I know children who are in the middle and their children are the same cuckoo. Like
there's no formula.
So now all three of us who are soft and gentle and middle,
we are all the same boat.
We have cuckoo children. So whatever you do,
there's no formula.
There's no formula. So we have to do what is right for you in that moment.
Yeah.
And parents, like I said, what's happened to my baby now?
Did she feel? Well, I think on this note,
we're gonna end
this baby needs a cuddle
because the baby is falling, and then I need to go and check on my little picky. So thank you very much, and please subscribe because you know a lot of people are still waiting for me to say, "Oh, you haven't sent it to me on my WhatsApp." Here. No. Because the problem is I can't send it every week. So if you subscribe on YouTube,
you'll get the notification.
Automatically it comes to you. You get to know some of the things is funny, some of them are not funny, some of them are real. There are real truth in them.
Absolutely.
And then there's some things is just jokey. Some people think we are jokers. Yes. In life, you have to be a joker to become successful. We're gonna joke until
we're joking about serious things, right? So we want you to come in your numbers. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We can sit here. You can be having whatever you're drinking over your side. And then we'll talk about it. The thing about this platform is that we are just ordinary people. We are not coming here to teach because we've got the statistics. So we're just here to talk. We're just here to vent. We're just here to uplift each other where we can and laugh about life and just relax, and that's it. It's literally a social gathering on a social setting.
And then we're gonna do live one day.
Yes,
we're gonna go live. So anybody who wants us to go live, if you can't come here, put your comment, tell us, and let us know. We set a date, and we all do it on live. We can do Zoom calling, whatever your opinion matters.
And we discuss different things,
and we talk about things because we're all going through the same problem. Even if you're not a mother and you're an auntie, you understand what we are saying. Even those people who are sitting there, those that are making the laws, they know exactly what we are saying, but because it's benefiting them in that situation, that's what they kind of are trying not to ignore. So please, listen, share. Please share, subscribe, and share the story to other people. You know, you might have friends in Africa, everywhere. Share. There's not going to be harm you sharing it. Love, one love, peace.
Have a good week.
Night.